Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good day. Welcome to the Vuka Nazo Show. My name is Sihle Ngobese, aka Big Daddy Liberty. Remember, whether you're watching this simulcast on Facebook or YouTube, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. If it is on YouTube, then we'll subscribe to the show and hit that bell notification. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Guys, remember, we have a website. Find us, and you can also support us financially there by going to BigDaddyLiberty.com. Now, with that being said, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the news. Ho! It is Monday Night Raw, Wednesday Night SmackDown in Cape Town, which is where I take you, where a fight is brewing between effectively the mayor of Cape Town, Jordan Hill Lewis, who of course is now squaring up against the minister, the national minister of transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga. There you go, over there. It's a almost street fighter, or should I say rail fighter scenario. What is the fight about? Of course, well, it relates to the issue of South Africa's rail network. For those of us who live in Mlazi, which is a township south of Durban, rail is something we've had since the apartheid years. It's so often poor individuals able to travel cheaply to economic opportunities, and the collapse of that rail, the very same rail, ironically, which was bequeathed to us, given to us by the colonial and apartheid years, which the ANC government simply had to just maintain it and expand on it. That same rail, which ironically the apartheid government built for the benefit of poor individuals, this government, the ANC government, which claims to stand for poor people, which claims to stand for black people in particular, has actually seen it collapse. They've seen it be stripped away, stolen, and even looted by the various metal scrap criminals across the country. This is the state of rail at the moment, and it is poor, often poor black individuals who have been the poorer, if you will, for it. But nonetheless, the city of Cape Town has been arguing if the ANC government can't maintain the rail, then give it to them. The provincial and, of course, the city administrations in the Western Cape, they've been saying for a while now, give us the rail. Let us reinvigorate it and give poor people the opportunity to have cheap transport options. But as I said, this fight now is brewing after now it seems the national government is doing a U-turn on a policy they adopted as the national cabinet, which is to devolve transport like trains down to city level. This of course relates to the comments made by the national transport minister after she was doing a ride along in Cape Town for PR purposes. When journalists asked her about the plan to devolve rail down to the city, she pretty much said no, a flat no. This is, of course, what she said, according to News 24. Now, in an interview during an oversight visit and train ride from Belleville to Eerste Rivier, Chikunga, who's the Minister of Transport, said, for now, we are not in the process of devolving railway services. That is why PRASA is busy building railway services in the Western Cape. End of quote. Now, she was assessing, of course, work done on the Belleville to Eerste Rivier section of the Northern Line. End of quote. Now, of course, this comes as a massive blow because merely a couple of weeks ago, Western Cape Premier Alan Winde, he was doing that ride along himself from the city station to Belleville. That's the Belleville line. And he expressed some confidence in the fact that this service would be devolved and that they, as a DA administration, both provincially and as a city of Cape Town, would run the service and presumably run it much better. Now, as I said, that fight now brewing. The city of Cape Town's mayor, Jordan Hill Lewis, fuming over this particular comment from the national minister, basically saying he's not going to take this lying down. This is how he was quoted in EWN. Now, the mayor said this was a complete U-turn, especially since the National Rail Policy White Paper, which was approved, as I mentioned, by Cabinet last year, called for the devolution of rail operations to metros, which had been discussed in Parliament and is now up for public comment. It's part of a process to change laws around who controls train services. Hill Lewis said that a commitment had already been made in Parliament to establish a devolution strategy in 2023. Chikunga, of course, you'll know, is the new Minister of Transport, where the transport portfolio generally has been under the douchebaggy former Minister of Transport, Ufile Mbalula, Mr. Fix-It, Mr. Fix-Nothing, as he's now commonly call, but nonetheless, Chikunga was expected to do mildly better in this portfolio and seemingly not. Why am I saying this? Because the devolution of rail for Cape Town is actually quite important. Hill Lewis, the mayor, puts it quite ably when he says, actually, this is about jobs and allowing poor people the opportunity to access economic opportunity. He says this as I conclude. Now, the mayor added that if rail operations were handed to the city, it would sustain, get this, 150,000 jobs and add 11 billion rand to the Metro's fiscus every year. End of quote. And this perhaps is what the ANC does not want. This, true to form as to who the ANC has been in government over the last 30 years, who presided over the decay of public services, the decay of infrastructure, the loss of job, and the shooting up of unemployment, true to that ANC, of course then they wouldn't want to let go of PRASA, which is a cash cow for them, amongst other things. And of course, a potential job creator. The ANC doesn't want jobs to be created in this country. And one has to simply say this to the current Minister of Transport: shame on you. All right, that's it for this episode of Vuka Nazo. Please, hey, let me know what you think about this particular matter. Leave a comment, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. The most important thing you can do is to, yes, hit that like button, but more importantly, share the stream. Please share it widely. With that being said, if you're looking to support the work that we're doing here, and it's the advocacy work in particular, then please consider contributing to the show. How do you do that? Find a payment method that suits you at our website. That's at bigdaddyliberty.com. Now, if you like any of the stories that we covered here, the links are in the descriptor. With that being said, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode of the Vuka Nazo Show.